on their prey.
Hey, what's up, ghouls and gals? It's me, Ryan T here, and welcome to another edition of Saturday Night Horror. We're live on another episode of Saturday Night Horror Theater, and holy fuck, does it feel good to be back. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, what's up? For those of you that are watching on Instagram, what the fuck is up, everybody on Instagram? This is my first time going live with the Ryan T Show on Instagram, so hopefully you guys are enjoying this. For those of y'all just tuning in that are new to the Ryan T Show, we're going to do Saturday Night Horror Theater. We're going to talk about 3 horror films today. We're going to talk about Smile. We're going to talk about the infamous Rob Zombie Munsters film. And we're also going to talk about Hocus Pocus 2. But before we get into all that, how the fuck have you guys been? What have y'all been up to? I really want to know. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you guys have been up to. So let's get it going. But yeah, man, what I've been up to, I just been fucking working nonstop. I've been fucking checking out a bunch of fucking movies. Spooky season just fucking started, so we have a bunch of stuff coming out. We just had a bunch of stuff that just came out. Just this weekend we had Hocus Pocus 2. We have Smile that just came out, and we also have Blonde that just came out. I kind of want to talk about Blonde a little bit. I just posted a review for Blonde on my Instagram page. Did a little bit of a written review on Letterboxd, and shout out to Letterboxd. But yeah, Blonde, a lot of people have been talking shit about this fucking movie, and I really honestly don't know why. Like, I really enjoyed this movie. Well, I know why. I mean, people wanted the Marilyn Monroe story, but Blonde isn't the Marilyn Monroe story. It's a fictionalized version of the Marilyn Monroe story. But yeah, I really fucking enjoyed Blonde. I really fucking dug what the film was doing. I also liked that it was NC-17, and it just felt really fucking ballsy. It felt like an early John Waters fucking work, where like it was the whole point of it was just to like piss people off and like annoy the fucking masses and make people be like grotesque and fucking pissed off with like fucking cinema, all while like kind of like stating, like, you know what I mean, like a cultural fucking statement. This film was kind of like talking about the male gaze and how she was exploited her whole entire life. And for the people out there that are like pissed off that this isn't like a fairy tale type movie, Marilyn Monroe's life wasn't like a fairy tale life. It was really fucking bad. Her life was really fucking bad. She got like raped by John F. Kennedy. She got exploited every which way. Anything bad that you could think that could happen to her happened to her. So yeah, Marilyn Monroe's life was not was not something that I would say was like a fairy tale-esque or something that I would want to emulate myself. Being a fucking woman in the 1950s or 40s or whatever the fuck she was in during that time would be fucking crazy as shit. Imagine trying to act and be famous during those times. They'd be like, oh, you want a part in the movie, huh? Why don't you go over here and go on the casting couch and we'll see what kind of part we can give you. Like, oh my god, like Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, just goddamn. But yeah, I know this isn't the Blonde film review, but I really dug Blonde. Ana de Armas did a fucking fantastic job in this film. She did a bunch of cool shit in this film that I really fucking dug. one thing that I really dug in this film is that it kind of also had like this David Lynch type fucking thing going on, where like it would go back and forth from different perspectives, and it also was like in black and white sometimes, and it was like super aesthetically pleasing. From like a critical standpoint, this film is like really fucking good. It's a really fucking good film. But I can see why people don't like this film. I mean, it's 3 hours of fucking trauma and like fucking PTSD and like totally fucking batshit fucking craziness coming from fucking Marilyn Monroe and her like running around screaming and getting like really like abused by a lot of fucking people and stuff like that. So I fucking get it, man. I really fucking get it. But speaking of old Hollywood characters that have been abused, let's talk about Rob Zombie's The Monsters. Yeah, or the Munsters, rather. Yeah, ghouls and gals. The Munsters, the Rob Zombie version, lives up to the fucking cheesy name. This film is as cheesy as it could fucking be. And yes, I remember the original Munsters from back in the day. They were cheesy, they were goofy, but they were like Batman 1966 type goofy, type cheesy, where like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody was in on the joke and stuff like that. This Rob Zombie film, that this fucking shit that he's trying to pull here, that he's trying to pass off as the fucking Munsters, right? Look at me sounding like I'm the fucking advocate for the fucking Munsters. I have seen the Munsters like 2 or 3 times in my fucking life. So I'm not even gonna try and front like I'm like this grand fucking gatekeeper of like the fucking Munsters or anything like that. But god damn it, man, I would hate to be a fan of this fucking series because Rob Zombie seems to have fucking bastardized this fucking film. But you know what? Before I fucking rip open the carcass that is the Munsters, let's give some positives on the film. A couple of positives on the film are Richard Brake does an amazing job as like I think he plays like 3 characters in this film. He plays Count Orloff, who's like this like lovable fucking creep who like eats the blood of like fucking rats and shit, and he was pretty fucking funny. And he also plays like this British fucking scientist who's also pretty fucking funny. And I think he also plays another role in the film, but he's really good in this film. And also Herman Munster is really good in this fucking film too. What's his name? The guy that plays him is really good in this. He's able to kind of pull off that like kind of dumb oafish thing where like he's very likable because he's like very dumb and like harmless. And he's able to pull that off pretty fucking well. And even the actor playing the grandpa is like okay in what he's doing. To be honest with you, the cast of this film isn't that fucking bad. They're all not that bad except for... I'm gonna have to take a drink for this one. Except for fucking Sherry Moon Zombie. Jesus Christ. I know at this point, everybody, all of us, unanimously, we all sound like a broken fucking record, but Rob Zombie, please stop casting your fucking wife in your fucking movies. Jesus fucking Christ, for the life of fucking me, I fucking beg of you, stop casting this fucking woman in these fucking movies. I get that you love your wife, that's very fucking honorable, that's very fucking lovely, that's very fucking sweet, that's very fucking kind, but please stop doing this fucking shit. Jesus Christ, homegirl cannot act her way out of a fucking paper bag. It is so fucking hard to fucking see her act in this fucking movie. Her rendition of Lily fucking Monster like almost fucking hurts me. Like it almost fucking hurts me to fucking watch it. She is so fucking terrible in this fucking film. It is just like, it's not even laughably bad. Like I can't even like look at this movie and be like, oh, it's like The Room, or like it's so fucking bad that it's good. Yeah, it's just not. It's just not. Her performance in this fucking film is just fucking terrible. It's just god fucking awful. Oh my god, hold on, I gotta fucking spit. This film is making me want to fucking spit and fucking throw up. Give me one fucking second. But yes, the fucking The Munsters, Rob Zombie's The Munsters, not only does it have, like, not only is it badly acted by Sherry Moon Zombie, who she brings down every fucking scene that she's in, may I add, but the film is so scatterbrained and so directionless. It has no fucking direction whatsoever. The film reminds me of, like, a fucking car, like, barreling through fucking traffic, going the fucking wrong way, wrecking into fucking stop signs, hitting fucking SUVs filled with fucking kids, fucking ramming over small fucking mid-sized fucking cars and shit like that. And like, it just has no fucking direction at all. The film is just aimless as fuck. And then like, whenever the film gains its fucking footing, it just abruptly ends like a fucking car crash. You see the Munsters in their fucking Dracula driving down the fucking street there in the wrong direction, and then they wreck into the side of the fucking mansion that they move into, and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, honestly, when this film fucking ended, I literally said out loud, I was watching this in my humble abode in my fucking spooky fucking mansion, and I literally fucking said, I was like, is that how you're gonna fucking end this thing? Like, it didn't even feel like an ending. Like, it felt like they cut off, like, midway of the fucking movie, even though the movie's, like, fucking I think the movie's, like, 2 hours and some fucking change. This movie is way longer than it needed to be. This movie is way longer than it fucking needed to be. This movie should have been, like, 90 minutes at best. Maybe even just, like, 60 minutes. Like, a little short film would have been fucking fine. And speaking of short films, this fucking movie feels like a TV show. Like, you mean, I know obviously it's based off of a TV show, but it feels like 3 or 3.5, 4 episodes of like a TV show that Rob Zombie really fucking wants to make. And like, he just kind of did that, and in hopes of people were like, hey, yeah, we'll pick this up and we'll give him more money to make this fucking Munsters universe that he's trying to fucking create. And speaking of money, that's another fucking thing. This movie has the budget of a fucking high school fucking play that's getting fucking done under the fucking bridge at fucking Skid Row or some shit. This fucking thing has the budget of like a fucking penny and a shoestring and like a fucking used fucking crack syringe. It is just fucking atrocious, the budget of this fucking film. This film has about as much budget as this fucking YouTube/Instagram live fucking video has. Like, literally, they literally just put up these fucking lights that I have right here. Have Sherry Moon Zombie's fucking old Harley Quinn ass fucking just be like, yeah, oh, Hermie, and like just have like a fucking gothic fucking house background behind her, and like it's just fucking, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that they let out this kind of fucking movie in this fucking state. Not only does it have like a shitty budget, it looks like it was filmed on a fucking potato. That's like a fucking growing trend with Rob Zombie movies. They feel like they're fucking on a fucking potato, and it's fucking ridiculous. Give me 1 second, ghouls and gals. We're gonna go on a commercial break, and I'll be right back.
It's the greatest motion picture of all time, winner of 20 Academy Awards.
Sorry, our announcer seems to be exaggerating just a bit.
A bigger achievement than even Citizen Kane.
Well, that part's a direct lie, but it's awfully fun, and Elvira looks just fabulous.
Elvira, the motion picture in amazing 2D on NBC Friday.
Dunkin' Donuts is proud to announce we've created a monster. Introducing these hauntingly delicious minis for Halloween.
They're alive! Alive!
The bang! Minis are a fraction the size of our regular donuts, with a taste so great they'll attract very interesting guests to your Halloween parties.
More sprinkles!
Get ready to scream.
Even now, there are great numbers of werewolves living secretly among us.
There's no place that's safe.
6 bodies were found, mauled and killed.
Channel 9 is being taken over by werewolves.
Hear my prayer, O Lord.
And there's nothing you can do to stop them.
It's all true.
It's back-to-back nights of horror. The Howling Horror Fest starts Tuesday at 8 on Channel 9. Remember, you've been warned. Celebrate Halloween with a Monday night special. 17 years worth of not ready for primetime trick-or-treat from your excellent hosts, Wayne and Garth, and Saturday Night Live.
Stephen King and George Romero, the masters of terror, bring you a frightening tale that will grab you, grow on you, and give you the creeps.
This is going to be extremely painful.
Ted Danson, Adrienne Barbeau, Leslie Nielsen. The most fun you'll ever have being scared. Creep Show. Tuesday at 8 on Channel 11, New York's movie station.
We were talking about the shit show that is the Munsters fucking movie. Jesus Christ, I like hit the bong before I came out here, and like my fucking throat feels like I just gargled a bunch of fucking nails, or it feels like if I try to watch the fucking Munsters movie again. So I'm sorry if I keep clearing my fucking throat and coughing and shit. I just took a wicked gnarly fucking bong hit before I started doing this. But yeah, anyways, the Munsters. It's fucking terrible. It's bad. Just like everybody anticipated it would be. It is very fucking bad. But I will say though, there is a couple of times that I did kind of laugh at it, and there is a couple of times where I did kind of chuckle, and I was kind of like, oh, okay. And like, it is aesthetically pleasing, even though it does have a very cheap fucking budget and a fucking like shoestring fucking budget and whatnot. It's okay. It's okay. It's decent. Like, the aesthetic is decent. It captures the aesthetic that it wants to capture. But other than that, that's all it is. It's just aesthetic, and it's a style and no substance. It's boring. It's terrible. It's not worth your time or your Netflix subscription. Well, there you have it, ghouls and gals. The Munsters is a, I'm going to say like it's like a 1 star, 1.5 star out of 5 stars, or 1.5 out of 5. Whatever you want to, stars, pieces of shit, Sherry Moon zombies, whatever you want to rate that as. But yeah, the next film that we're going to talk about is going to be Smile. I had a hell of a time with the movie Smile. I kind of really dug Smile, man. I really liked what it did, and that's not to say that it isn't a very like cliche, very run-of-the-mill plot. This is your standard like It Follows type of movie where it's like this entity that you can see that's possessing people to do certain things, whether it's to kill themselves or kill other people. And it's at first it's your like standard, you know what I mean, like, oh, we have to get rid of this, we have to figure out what this is, we don't know how we're gonna deal with this, or we don't know what we're gonna do about it. And at first I was kind of getting fucking pissed off when I was watching this movie, because I was kind of like, man, this better not be some fucking bullshit where she's just like, oh, there was no real monster at all, it was just the trauma and PTSD that I had to overcome, and that was the real monster, it was all in my head. Because for a fucking minute there, it seemed like they were gonna pull that shit. Because well, let me tell you what the movie's about a little bit first. The movie follows this one girl who, in the beginning of the film, we see her as a child, and she sees us. We see her as a child, and it looks like she sees her mom commit suicide. But later we find out that that may not be the case. But after she sees that, she's been scarred for life. So she's had like a history of mental problems her entire life. So she has had a lot of trauma and a lot of stuff that she hasn't confronted and stuff like that. So the movie kind of sets it up that it's gonna be that it's gonna be something like that. And I don't like that. I hate when horror movies are more symbolic than actually like having like a monster or whatever the thing is that they're saying that they have in the movie. If your movie's just promoting that you have a fucking big dick fucking devil monster fucking raping people and stabbing them with a pitchfork and stuff like that, you better have that in your fucking movie. I don't want any fucking metaphorical fucking bullshit, some fucking miss me with that shit where you're kind of just like, oh, you know, like, oh, it's just all in their fucking mind, you know what I mean? And the real enemy was the trauma, and the real journey was them facing that and going head on and all that. No, miss me with that fucking shit. I hate that shit, and I'm glad that this movie didn't do that. Oh yeah, somebody in the comments, Detroit Clout said, just started American Psycho 2, watched a review video on it, and knew it was gonna be ass. Yeah, American Psycho 2 is another movie that is very fucking terrible. It's one of those fucking films that you just fucking think to yourself like, what the fuck did they think? Why the fuck would they do this? And you know what? The fucked up part is that they had Mila Kunis in that film, and she could have been okay in that. She could have been fucking okay in that. But they just totally fucking shit the bed with that movie. They made it to where like a little kid fucking kills Patrick Bateman, Christian Bale's Patrick Bateman, and well, you've seen the review, you know how I feel about it, and Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah, Smile is really fucking good. I really enjoyed what it did. And again, I was really hoping that it wasn't going to be one of those like psychological fucking bullshit fucking pussy ass cop out fucking endings where they're kind of just like, oh, it was all in her fucking head. This thing was fucking real. It's a real fucking demon entity, whatever you want to call it, and it's actually going into people's fucking mouths and fucking bodies and fucking inhabiting them and making them do fucked up fucking shit. And it's really fucking cool, man. This film, Smile, borrows from other horror films and kind of mishmashes them together and like stirs them together in this fucking like pot and puts it in the fucking microwave and fucking puts it for 3 minutes and lets it come out, and it fucking is baked and made to fucking perfection. Smiled is really fucking good. It's really fucking enjoyable. And if you have nothing else to watch this Halloween season, this spooky season, as we just fucking kicked it off, go ahead and watch Smiled. It's really fucking enjoyable. It's a really fucking fun ride. I really dug it. It was something that I really would watch again, man. And that's coming from somebody that, of course, loves fucking horror films and stuff like that. And again, this is from someone coming from somebody that thought that this was gonna fucking suck. I thought this film was gonna be fucking terrible. I thought this was gonna be on some Truth or Dare type fucking bullshit where it was just gonna be like laughably fucking bad. And it ended up being just pretty fucking good. It was just pretty fucking good. And Detroit Cloud says, definitely got to see Smile. Getting tired of the psychological stuff too. It's getting old. Yeah, again, yeah, it's getting fucking really fucking old. Like I was saying earlier, if you got this fucking crazy ass fucking demon fucking thing going around fucking killing people, then you better have a fucking crazy ass fucking demon thing going around killing people. We want to fucking see it. I like that horror films are kind of going back to that old school kind of fucking vibe where they're kind of like, no, like this is just really like a fucking monster. You know what I mean? This is a fucking monster movie. Going back to like Barbarian and stuff like that. Barbarian is a really good example of that. It's just like a B movie on fucking steroids, and it just fucking works. And the same with fucking Smile. It's a very low budget fucking film. It's about people doing this. You know what I mean? And they fucking start going fucking crazy and fucking killing people. And it just fucking works. It just fucking works. It's really fucking good. But yeah, Smile. I'm going to go ahead and rate Smile a 3 out of 5, man. I really dug Smile. I really suggest you go out there and watch it. I mean, and it's a short fucking film, man. It breezes fucking by. It's a like tight, like an hour, 47 minutes, something like that. And it's a well worth it watch. If you can head out to theaters and watch it, watch it. If you're going to wait to watch it at your house, even fucking better. Get some beer, get some smoke, and fucking watch it. And speaking of watching movies at your house, the big film that I wanted to talk about is Hocus Pocus Part 2. I grew up like every other kid. I grew up on Disney films. I watched a lot of Disney films growing up, like especially like the live action ones, and especially the ones that are like Halloween oriented. I fucking grew up watching Nightmare Before Christmas, all of the fucking like Disney Halloween fucking specials, like Halloween Town, all that fucking type of shit. You know what I mean? And of course, I know this isn't Disney, but like Goosebumps and all that kind of shit like that. But yeah, man, I really enjoyed all of that Halloween Disney stuff. So whenever I heard they were making a Hocus Pocus 2, at first I was kind of fucking like skeptical. I was kind of really fucking skeptical because one, Bette Midler is like fucking 70 years old. Sarah Jessica Parker looks like fucking Marilyn Manson now, and the other chick, there's nothing wrong with her. She looks the fucking same. She looks exactly the fucking same. Oddly, she's the only one that hasn't aged a fucking day, which is fucking crazy to fucking say. But yeah, I was very fucking reluctant and reprehensive to watch a Hocus Pocus Part 2 because I was thinking to myself, like, what else could they squeeze out of the dry tit that is like Hocus Pocus? I mean, that really felt like a one and done movie, you know what I mean? The Saunders sisters come back through the black flame candle or whatever, and like it goes out and that's it, they're done, you know what I mean? They got defeated by the fucking Virgin Max and his lust for fucking yabos, and his fucking little sister Thora Birch, as well as his hot fucking little like girlfriend that he fucking had or whatever. Which, may I add, why weren't they in the fucking movie? What were they doing? I'm sure they weren't doing anything. Like, get Thora Birch in this fucking film, get the guy that played her older brother in the fucking movie, get the girlfriend in the fucking movie, make them have like a family, and make those kids be the kids of them, you know what I mean? And they somehow turn on the black candle flame or whatever the fuck. That's another thing that I didn't like. Okay, I'm gonna get into not spoilers, but I didn't like the younger cast in this film. That was like the one thing that I didn't like in this Hocus Pocus film. I didn't like the 3 younger cast members in this film. Like, they were like the 3 younger, like not the younger Saunders sisters. Those actors were fucking amazing. They did an amazing job as acting as the Saunders sisters. But the 3 main young kids, the ones that were passing off as like the 3 main new witches, I didn't like them at all. They kept trying to like push them in like in the audience's face, and like I just kind of didn't dig them. Not that they're bad, not that they're bad actors or anything, but they just weren't like set up really well or anything like that. And like they're kind of like a little bit like fucking annoying, and I just don't really care about them. Like, they're not the people that I wanted to see. Like, the great fucking sequel to Hocus Pocus is right there. It's the film that I just fucking described. You have Thora Birch, and she has kids now, and those kids have heard of the stories from their Uncle Max and their aunt, whatever the fuck the girlfriend's name is. I forget her fucking name. And like, you know what I mean? The moms have been telling them, oh, those are just fucking fairy tales. That's not fucking real and all that shit. That's the fucking story. That's the fucking part 2. But instead, the plot to this one is we get these 3 girls, these 3 new people that are like obsessed with crystals and shit, and like astrology and fucking vibes and shit like that. They're like the type of people that would be like, oh, good vibes only. Like, I fucking hate people like that. Annoying ass motherfuckers. They'd be people like that. But yeah, I'm talking about like little kids, right? Like, if they're like fucking assholes. But yeah, these 3 girls, they try to shove them in our face, the audience's face, and like it's just not working for me. It's just not working for me. Like, I could not get into them. Now, if they wanted to spend a little bit more time with the young Saunders sisters, I wouldn't fucking mind that at all. Those little kid actors were very fucking interesting. They set up this older witch that like shows them like the ways of like the Wiccan and like the fucking devil, man, and fucking like gives them the book with the eye and shit like that. It's all very fucking cool. I really thought that chick was gonna come back and be the one that was going to like fight the Saunders sisters, and like the Saunders sisters were gonna have to like turn like good and fight against like that witch, because that witch was gonna try and do like the all-powerful spell or whatever. But nope, she just comes out like for like 5 seconds like in the movie, and we never see her again. and that's it. And that's it. I mean, they had ample stuff to like draw from, but they kind of didn't draw from it. They wanted to kind of like make an original story, and usually I would applaud that and be like, oh, you know, it's trying to do its own thing while honoring the original, and usually that's what like a good sequel / like kind of reboot kind of does. But in this case, like, there's certain things that people want to see, and none of them are in this fucking film. Like, things that people don't really care about are in this film. Like, they have a black cat that's not the talking cat from the first one, which, what the fuck? And then they have Billy Butcherson or whatever the fuck. Or that's the guy from The Boys, right? They have the guy, Billy, whatever the fuck his name is. And, like, okay, yeah, he's cool or whatever. But, I mean, like, And, like, you're really just there to see the 3 main witches, and, like, they're good. They're fine. They haven't missed a beat. Sarah Jessica Horseface Parker is still good. Bette Midler is still good. The other one is still good. She still can do that. They're good. They're not the problem in this film. I feel like the problem in this film, and let me say this, Hocus Pocus 2 isn't bad. I know I'm coming off like a fucking hater. I sound like a fucking super fucking hater right now, but this fucking movie, it isn't bad. It's just okay. And there is a great movie to be fucking had in this. This is like this is the most a sequel that I've ever fucking seen. You know what I mean? Like, it isn't terrible, it isn't bad, but it's nowhere near the original, and it never was gonna be. The whole main purpose of this film, the whole job that this film had, was that it just had to be kind of fucking fun, and it kind of succeeds at that. But everything else around the Sanderson sisters isn't like fun. It's bland, it's generic, it almost fucking seems like low budgety, and at times it feels like if you're watching like a play or something like that. And what draws into that is like the budget of the film. Again, the budget, much like the fucking Munsters, what we were talking about earlier, the budget really fucking hurts this fucking movie, man. You can tell that this film has a much less budget than the original film, which I think is always fucking interesting, because that happens with a lot of fucking sequels, and predominantly fucking horror movie fucking sequels. You know what I mean? Like, they get a kind of decent budget for the first one, and then they get a second film, and somehow the budget's lower for the second film. Wouldn't the budget be higher for the second film? Like, doesn't that fucking make sense? If it's Hocus Pocus 2, shouldn't the budget be 2 times the first one, because the first one made so much money that you're making a second one? I don't know, that's just my thinking. Oh shit, we got Sid Retro in the fucking house, and he said, yo, Sid Retro tuned in, LOL Hocus Pocus, thumbs down. But no, man, you know what, honestly, talking straight like to Sid and everybody else in the audience, like I said earlier, Hocus Pocus 2, it isn't bad. It's just okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's just okay. And the first one, I grew up with the first one. The first one is actually really fucking good. I'm gonna rewatch it tomorrow, and I'm sure it's gonna fucking hold up really fucking well. But yeah, Hocus Pocus 2 is, from what I remember, the original one is actually really fucking good, and it had a lot of cool fucking shit. This movie just feels like an original Disney Channel fucking movie, something that you would watch on Saturday night. You know what I mean? Like, your mom and dad are outside smoking cigarettes, partying, and you're inside watching the Disney Channel and the aircon, you know, eating your 20-piece chicken nuggets with the fucking sweet and sour sauce and the ginormous Dr. Pepper. You know what I mean? Or did I get too specific there for a second? You know what I mean? But this film feels like that. It feels like a Disney Channel film. It has the budget of a Disney Channel film. It felt like if I was watching fucking Xenon or Halloween Town or some shit like that. But yeah, the plot of the Hocus Pocus film is pretty fucking simple. Hocus Pocus 2 follows the 3 new witches, well, 2 of them for most of the fucking film. Then they get their other friend who is kind of like, oh, I'm not into like witch shit anymore. Like, I'm into like dudes and shit now. Like, I'm into banging dudes. And like, at first I was kind of like, oh, okay, that's weird. Like, that's kind of like the plot. She's just like, fuck y'all, I have a boyfriend now. Like, fuck all these crystals and fucking shit. Like, I'm with my fucking boyfriend now. Like, y'all can go fucking light candles and be in the fucking forest and shit like that. But yeah, that's pretty much the plot of the film. Like, it follows the 3 new witches they accidentally summon the Saunders sisters, and then the main witch, who's played by Bette Miller, is kind of like, oh, I'm tired of fucking like failing and being like a fucking loser witch. Last time we got beaten by fucking teenagers, and we have like Wanda fucking Maximoff level fucking magic powers. How the fuck are we letting that happen? I will say that's pretty funny in this film. They do kind of point out some of the like stupidness of the original film. Like, they have a musical number out of nowhere and then start singing, and like the characters in the film do the thing that I always wish people in musicals do. They like point out like the absurdity and weirdness of somebody just like randomly bursting out into song and dance. They like turn to each other and they're just like, who are they singing to? Why are they just dancing? Like, what's going on? Which I thought that was actually fucking clever. I thought that was actually pretty fucking clever. Yeah, like Sid saying in the comments, he's like, I never was a big fan of Hocus Pocus, LOL. Yeah, if you're not a big fan of Hocus Pocus, or you didn't grow up with the film, you're probably not gonna like this at all. Like, if you're like a parent or somebody a little bit older, and you're like, just like, oh, you know, I remember like my kid used to watch this, or like I was too old for it when the original one came out. This is not for you. This is hardcore fucking like nostalgia bait. This fucking tugs on the penis, that is fucking nostalgia. It sucks on the nipple, that is the nostalgia juice, and just sprays it all over your fucking face, neck, and chest, and it's just like, suck on that nostalgia. Do you remember that you liked the Saunders sisters? Do you remember how funny and silly it was when they flew into the night on their witch's broom? Well, guess what? We're doing it again, motherfucker. And yeah, it kind of does that kind of thing. Which, okay, that's fine, you know what I mean? But yeah, the plot's paper thin. Our three main leads are really fucking good. They're really fucking enjoyable. They did not miss a beat. I forgot how funny they all are together. But everybody else, again, around them is just boring, bland, and I really wish that we had a way better supporting fucking cast. You know what I mean? I wish we had better, not that the people acting in the film are bad, I just wish that they had better direction, because it just feels like they kind of just made this really fucking quick and kind of like just put more emphasis on the three witches, the three Saunderson sisters, and kind of like didn't pay attention to anybody else, which they should have, because they're also in the fucking movie. But yeah, I didn't really dig that. I think I'm gonna get into a little bit of like spoiler territory. If you haven't seen Hocus Pocus 2, you've been warned. I'm gonna give you a 5-second warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna talk about Hocus Pocus 2 spoilers. Okay, so the Saunderson sisters are back. They get brought back by this guy that runs this like fucking like cheesy, corny magic shop that used to be the Saunderson sisters' home, and they get brought back to life, and the first thing they do is start busting out into a song and dance number and shit like that, and then they automatically want to kill the children, which you know, I relate to that, because I'm one of those people that I fight kids. I'll punch a fucking kid in the face if they're acting like a fucking idiot, especially if I'm fucking watching a movie. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, no, their first instinct is like, we're gonna kill this fucking kid and shit like that. And then automatically after that, they kind of are tired of being like losers and being like fucking bums. And so like they tell the audience like, oh, there's this spell where we could become all powerful witches and stuff like that, and we can get all the power, and we can pretty much always succeed at the things that we want to do. And so they kind of go on a little wacky journey like on that tip, and they're kind of trying to like get all the necessary stuff that they need to make a witch pie. You know what I mean? They need raccoon hair, they need possum vagina, they need tongue of a rat, they need fucking Bengay, they need fucking Vicks or whatever, you know what I mean, to make their fucking stew. And so they're doing that or whatever, and all while that's happening, we have the guy who owns the magic shop and Billy, who's back from the dead. They're kind of trying to figure out how they're going to stop the Saunderson sisters. But wait, the guy that owns the magic shop is fucking around the zombie guy Billy, because he's really trying to just save his own ass because he's in cahoots with the Saunderson sisters. But wait, he's actually not, because he's also trying to save the 3 little girls that are also in danger. And what ends up happening is, after all this wackiness and all of this crazy shit, it all comes to a fucking head, and we finally see our 3 witches, and they're going to be able to say the spell. They're going to be able to get the power, and all of a sudden, the main witch, who's played by Bette Midler, says the fucking magic words, and wouldn't you know it, her sisters start fucking Tony Stark, fucking Spider-Man disappearing Avengers fucking style. Like, though they fucking, like, they start getting all pixelated, and she's all like, I don't want to go yet, Mr. Stark. I feel weird. And then she's like, oh, no, my sisters, not without my sisters. And she, like, starts freaking out. And then, like, the 3 little girls are like, yeah, in order for you to get this power, your sisters have to fucking die. And, like, for a second, like, Bette Midler's character, like, thinks about it, and she's kind of like, you know, like, I did want, like, you know, ultimate power or whatever, you know what I mean? And then she's kind of like, no, my sisters, what would I do without my sisters and stuff like that? And so you kind of get a little bit of a sad moment there where, like, the sisters are gonna die and stuff like that, and they're gonna get fucking disappeared into fucking thin air and shit like that. And then, like, Bette Midler's like, oh, no, what have I done? Oh, no. And then she, like, pleads with, like, the magic Satan book, and she's kind of like, oh, is there anything that I can do? And then it opens up, like, a spell, and then it says, like, basically, like, oh, this is how you get your sisters back or whatever. Or so Bette Midler's character thinks. What ends up happening is they read the fucking spell, and Bette Midler also fucking disappears. And then the movie ends. Then the movie ends like that. Until the fucking credits roll, and it has a fucking Avengers Marvel style fucking end credit scene. And I'm not even making this up. It legit has a Avengers fucking end credit scene where you see the fucking guy that owns the magic shop. He has a duplicate black candle that he made. And so that basically just says that, you know, they could light that candle again, and the Sanderson sisters could come back, you know, come back for one day or whatever. Because originally, the original candle, it already had got burnt down all the way down, so they couldn't come back at all. So them disappearing at the end of the film really felt like, oh, this is the end. You know, they're never going to come back. We're never going to see them again. This chapter is closed. But, you know, like movies, modern fucking movies, especially fucking Disney movies, they want to have their fucking cake and eat it too, and they're just like, oh, wait, but if this one does good, we're gonna make part 2, and they're gonna come back, so we better add this end credit scene, thus negating and making the ending of the fucking film fucking pointless and fucking a bunch of fucking shit and fucking bullshit. Which, I hate that. I fucking hate that. I fucking hate when movies fucking do that. They have a decent fucking ending, and they have a good fucking send-off for the bad guy, or any fucking character, and then they fucking cut to the end credits, and they're just like, oh, wait, but they might be alive, thus making the ending of this fucking film pointless and fucking stupid, because we're probably gonna make another one of these fucking movies in like about T-minus right the fuck now. I guarantee you, in the next like month or 2 months, well, because it'll probably take about a month or 2 to get the fucking numbers back from how good Hocus Pocus 2 did on Disney Plus. They're gonna be like, we're making Hocus Pocus 3. Yeah, bitch. And this time we got Thora Birch back, and we got the guy that played Max in the original film, and we got his fucking girlfriend, and we got the Iceman from that film as well. Yeah, if they did that, then Hocus Pocus 3 would be at theaters and be making fucking bank. But yeah, Hocus Pocus 2, it's just okay. I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was bad. I didn't think it was like, you know, something that I'd watch again. I just feel like it's a kind of film that people are going to watch based on nostalgia, especially people that were kids when this came out, and now that they have kids, they're going to show this to their kids. I can see a lot of fucking people logging onto Disney Plus this fucking weekend and watching Hocus Pocus 1 and then Hocus Pocus 2 and making a whole fucking thing about it. I bet you people are having fucking watch parties. I bet you people are fucking FaceTiming each other and watching it together, and you know what I mean. And I get that, and that is what's going to get this movie a fucking sequel, and that is what is gonna make people watch this fucking movie. This movie has the all glorious drug known as fucking nostalgia, and this movie knows that. And you know what I mean. Earlier I said, how come they didn't do this? How come they didn't do that? Well, if they did all of that, what the fuck are they gonna do in the fucking sequel to this fucking movie? So again, they're gonna have a fucking sequel to this movie. I fucking guarantee you. But yeah, ghouls and gals, in summary, Hocus Pocus 2 is just kind of okay. It could have been better. It could have been a whole lot better. You know, it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 2.5 out of 3. 2.5 out of 3. Out of 5. I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5. Would I watch it again? No. Would I recommend it to anybody? I don't have to, because you're already watching it. You're already watching it, or you're going to fucking watch it. Because why? You grew up with it, or you're going to show it to your fucking kid. There you have it, ghouls and gals. I'm Ryan T, and I'll see you in the next one. And thank you once again for joining me for another edition of Saturday Night Horror Theater. That's right, ghouls and gals. I will see you in the next one.